Hey, this video is for you people that are either thinking about jumping onto YouTube or either you're already here and you're wondering, why should I bother keep beating my head against this YouTube brick wall? So I woke up this morning, and of course I come downstairs to check how my video did that I posted just a couple days ago. And on YouTube, you can actually track and follow how your videos are doing. They'll give you a lot of analytics. And they give you, your average watch time. And the video I posted on Thursday is below that. Okay? It's a dud. It's not going good. And I looked at that, and you get pretty disheartened. You go, man, why do I bother with this? I'm just struggling to make things happen here on this channel. So why? Well, you need to ask yourself, why am I doing this? Okay, why bother with a YouTube channel? Now, in all honesty, when I look at all the different people in YouTube, in the YouTube world, there's two camps. And there may be a little bit of overlap and people down a little bit different lane, but for the most part, there's people here that are making money, that want to make money, and that's why they're doing YouTube. So controversy, all that stuff is great, okay, because that just generates more, okay? Like JP is one of my go-tos. I like watching him, okay, and he doesn't mind being controversial and saying what needs to be said. So I think it's Awaken with JP. Anyhow, yes, controversy, yeah, and he does it for a reason, right? And people love watching it. Then there's the group that just they're here because they love what they do, and they want to share it with the world. And that's how I got started in YouTube. In all honesty, like I didn't sit down and say, oh man, YouTube, you can make money on YouTube. Well, I had to start a YouTube channel. And I say that because I had to buy a new phone at Christmas time. I had to upgrade from my iPhone 4. So if you're wondering, can I start this? Yeah, you don't need a whole lot of stuff, okay? I just upgraded from a flip phone to an iPhone 4. And I started in 2021, and all I've done on my channel was done with an iPhone 4, okay? And I'm not the sharpest tack when it comes to electronics and computers and stuff. I'm a 60-year-old guy. And it was tough. So my kids got a kick of it, okay? Dad's got a YouTube channel. They laugh to kill themselves. Because again, that's not my gig. But the reason I did it, the reason I started a YouTube channel, like a lot of people do, is I used to go on back when I was, raising a family here on the farm and stuff. I needed to know how to do something, okay? How to put a window in properly, or how to fix a ball joint on the front end of my pickup truck, okay? Like the rest of the world, I'm trying to save $1 or $2 with the prices going crazy. So I would go onto YouTube and Google it. How to put a ball joint in a 1990 GMC Suburban or whatever you own, okay? And some guy somewhere had taken the time to do a video, and it was a huge help. I'd go on there, and all of a sudden, I'd follow him through, and I'd be running in and out of the garage, from the garage of the house to the garage of the house, and go in and watch it again. Okay, he did this, he did that. You got to take that bolt out, and I'd go back in, do the same thing, and so it was immensely helpful. Okay, and then and I did that a lot. And I was using a lot of YouTube videos to do stuff around the house. And I thought, this is flipping handy. This is great that somebody has taken the time to do this. So in March of 2021, I said, I'm going to do a couple of videos. Because I was teaching a lot of college students and university students how to hang axes and what to look for in an axe handle and how to get good wood and all this. And I thought, you know what, there's a certain amount of stuff that I know that I can pass along to the world as well. So I started my YouTube channel to get information from me and what I did, which was chainsaw safety instruction, how to put a tree in the ground right properly and safely, how to sharpen axes, how to hang axes, how to make an axe handle, how to secure good wood. I said, I have a fair bit of knowledge in that. And I never even went on and checked Facebook to see who has what. I never even knew. I didn't know there was a huge YouTube world with all these channels on axes and I had no clue. So I just started doing it for that reason, okay? So my whole intent was just to get information out there. I wasn't worried about making money a bit. Wasn't even on the radar. And to the point that after, in order to monetize, in order to make $1 off of YouTube, you got to have at least 1,000 subscribers. So that's why a lot of people are saying, subscribe to my channel, because the more subscribers you get, it goes into their algorithms, and all of a sudden you can start making money. And of course, once you start getting a lot of subscribers, then you start getting a lot of watches. And of course, the more that people watch your videos and the more subscribers you have, the more money you make. Because in all honesty, YouTube is just like the old TV. Like when I grew up as a kid, back when there was black and white TV, yeah, we had indoor plumbing finally. And what they would do was on television, every 15 minutes, they'd run commercials. So of course, if you were watching a TV show, if everybody was tuned in to Dallas and they had a couple of commercials at the 15-minute mark, then they would pay that's how these TV shows made money. So the more watchers you have, YouTube's pretty much identical to that. The more people that watch your channel, and there's commercials embedded within your videos, then of course the more, and there's likely one playing either before or after this, then the more money you make. So it's the same thing. All these advertisers will pay money to YouTube, and then YouTube distributes it to the people that are getting a lot of watches, and selling these products. So that's how it works. And again, I had no clue. So now, as I was saying, when I went in to buy my iPhone, this is what I think now, I'm cutting edge, man. I've got an iPhone, I don't even remember what it is, 14, 15? It's not the 16, but it's 14. I think this is an iPhone 14 right now. Got a lot better sound and video. Whatever. But when I was getting it, a couple of foreign guys were selling it to me, and in a superstore, and they said, well, what do you do with your phone? And I said, well, all I use my phone for, I make phone calls on it, I text my family, and I do YouTube videos. YouTube videos? Are you a YouTuber? I'm a wannabe, okay? I'm not a big guy on YouTube. No, I'm not. So I said, well, I make a few. Oh, what's your channel? So I told them, and they Googled it, and one of them subscribed, and said, oh, so cool. I know a YouTuber. And I'm like, well, I'm not a big YouTuber, okay? And actually, that's the reason I'm doing this, is because I'm not a big YouTuber, and I'm not in this for money. So I'm in this because I want to get information out to people. That's why I'm doing it. But once you start down this YouTube world, it's like a magnet. And every time you wake up, like I said, when I started this video, I got up this morning and I was so disheartened. I thought, why am I bothering? Like the YouTube I did for this week, and I try to do one a week. And I know some people do one a day, and holy mac, I don't know how people do it. And they got all these fancy graphics, and man, you know what? And good on you. And the more effort you put in, just like anything in life, the more effort you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it. And again, am I putting a lot of effort in? Well, I find it takes a fair bit of time. I'm retired now, so I have a bit of time. But, putting together a video, and then, what I have to do, I'm not sure. And I don't know what anybody else does. And nobody's sharing any of that. So I'll tell you what I do, okay? I got a program on my computer, a Windows Movie Maker. So what I have to do is I video this on my camera, okay? And my kids finally told me, Dad, turn your camera sideways. I don't have a clue what I'm doing here. So now, and actually I just filmed this video before with my camera the wrong way. So this is the second take of this because I had to turn it around so that actually it fills your TV screen. So, I said, I need to do, because I used to work in the wildlife world. I thought, well, this week I was selling axe handles in at the Trappers Convention. I thought, well, I'll actually make a video of that. And my son and I had just happened to film a couple of really cool segments. I found a pileated woodpecker on Christmas Day in the woods and got a really cool footage of him. And my son he was out doing his work as a forest ranger and found a bobcat eating a coyote. Talk about cool. So I did a shorter video with that stuff in it, and I thought, man, they'll eat that up like that. What? For all these people that are watching my channel, they'll think, oh, wow, is that ever cool? It tanked. Okay, so all of a sudden now, what I thought would be a good video, it's below my average. So, if you want your channel to grow, how this works, how this whole world works is you need a certain number of subscribers, okay? Once you get 1,000 subscribers, then you can monetize. Now, I get to 1,000 subscribers in a couple of years, and because I was always saying, be sure you hit the subscribe button, be sure you hit the subscribe button. Most people are going to subscribe to you because they like the content, not because you're telling them to do it. So that's the first thing, is you need once you get to be 1,000 people watching you, subscribe to your channel, then you can do what they call monetize. You can actually apply to make money because more people are going to watch it. You're starting to grow. So again, that wasn't my goal. So I reached 1,000, I don't know, 2-3 years ago. And I went on, I thought, well, what about monetizing? I thought, I don't care about that. So I left it for, I don't know, 6 months, 8 months. And I used to get reminders, you're at 1,000, you're at 1,000, you can monetize. So I said, well, okay, I'll go on and see what this is about. Well, man, I'm in Canada, and YouTube is pretty much an American world. So I went on there to look at the forms to fill out to monetize. I could not figure them out. I mean, and again, I got a university degree. I'm not stupid. But I'm not overly literate in this whole computer world. So anyways, I struggled. And I couldn't figure out what some of the things they were asking about. And I Googled and searched. And it took me almost a year to figure out how to fill out those forms. And again, I didn't really care because I'm not in it for the money. I'm doing it because I want to get information into the hands of people that need it. So I don't know, it took almost till the end of 2024 before I figured it out, got the form in. Still didn't really care much about it. So then in February of 2025, so just not even a year ago, all of a sudden they say, hey, congratulations, you monetized. Hey, congratulations, blah, blah, blah. And again, I don't really pay much attention to that stuff. I'm just doing what I do, put a video out every week. And then when life gets busy, like my wife and I went on holidays this summer and stuff, and I wasn't putting videos out then, and I kind of missed a little segment there, and all of a sudden things started petering out on the channel. And, there wasn't any new subscribers, and my people watching it weren't watching it very much, and I thought, nah, what? So I was right on the brink of saying, let's not bother. And I thought, well, no, I like getting that out to people. I like getting the content out, and there's a bunch of other things I could do. So, information, I wanted to show people grinding axes. I want to show them a bunch of stuff. So I said, well, maybe I'll do a few more. So, but we'll roll the clock back a little bit farther, back into, in February, I finally got something showed up in my bank account. $404. And I thought, what's that? So I went into my online banking and I searched around, and something from Google. So I went in and I actually had to call the bank, say, what is this? And they said, oh, that's your YouTube payment. I said, YouTube payment? $400? The heck is that? So I'm back to my channel. I had, I don't know what I had then, 1,300 subscribers. And I don't know how many videos, maybe 100 videos. And I got a $400 check. And I thought, what was all that about? Well, because people are watching your videos all along. And of course, when you finally monetize, there's a bunch of money that's there that you haven't gotten, of course, because as it accrues, it just keeps building. So, I was always like, holy mackerel, this is gold mine. Till the next, so I didn't get anything the next month. So then it was 2 months after. And from what I can tell, they pay you every 2 months. So 2 months later, I get a check for about $90. And I thought, okay, that makes sense. Because I'm not a big YouTuber, and I'm not getting a pile of hits, and I don't have a pile of subscribers. I post something, and I get probably, 200 people watch it. So whatever. It's not a big deal. But it's... what it does, though, you get sucked into this. I got to have more people. I got to have more people. I got to make more money. Well, it's never been about that for me. So, and even though that's not what it's about, when I have a video like I did here, I'll think this fall, things have started picking up a bit. So I've gotten probably every 2 months this year in 2025, I've gotten a little over around $100, a little bit more than $100. Some months a little higher, some months a little lower. Well, then, so that was going on all summer. And like I say, it's not big money. And so what do I have invested? Well, in order to make my channel run, I have a phone. I had a phone, okay, and my battery was starting to die a lot on me, so I had to upgrade my phone. So now my battery will last a couple of days now. I've got a little tripod, okay? So you're sitting in a tripod right now on my bench so that it's not bouncing all around, because my kids told me, that drives people bananas. And then, you can't move it up and down much. So I was doing all this stuff. I'm pretty rough. Again, I'm an old fart, man. I'm just learning this stuff. So I said, I need some way to edit these videos, because there's some stuff in there I'd like to get out, and there's some stuff in there I'd like to cover over. And so I purchased one of these Windows movie makers, and I just downloaded it onto my computer. And so now what I do is I video on my camera. Then I got to go in the house, plug it into my machine, my computer, and then it downloads to my pictures. Okay, so now I got a video. Then I pull up my Windows Movie Maker, and then I bring that into Windows Movie Maker, and I do my editing in there. I can put words in, I can clip some stuff and delete it. I can do things and neaten it up a little bit, make it look presentable. And then once I get it there, then I need to save it again. So I save it to another place on my computer. And then I go into YouTube and then bring that saved document into YouTube. Okay, and then you can upload, then you got to edit everything in YouTube. Now, I can't find much anywhere else. Like people, I don't have a clue how you do this, okay? And some people have some pretty beautiful videos on here, and they're doing a great job, and they're filming great, and they've got all kinds of neat stuff and sounds and music. Man, the first time I thought I'll play my guitar, okay? Maybe people like, hear a little bit of music. I played my guitar, I played Merle Haggard. Man, the next thing I know, I got flipping copyright this and copyright that, and you can't do this, and this person wants a slice of your video, and I was like, what was that? So the guitar playing went out the window. And then another time, of course, this last video I had, it had the coyote eating the bobcat. So when you're going down through putting your video on YouTube, it asks you, is there anything here that's harmful or detrimental to kids, or, it's going to cause people issues. And so all of a sudden, I just showed a dead animal. Then you hit that, and all of a sudden all the lights and sirens go on, and so it's a learning process, okay? And I'm still learning. I'm still new to this. But so right now I do have, some way, by a miracle, I have 3,000 plus subscribers. Now again, I'm not a big, there's people out there that have millions of subscribers, or hundreds of thousands. They're YouTubers, okay? Those guys are serious. And I listened to a guy today saying, this is what I made in YouTube. And I'm just a little guy. I'm a little channel. And I looked at his numbers and I went, you're not little. I'm little. But then again, there's other guys that are trying to do YouTube videos in the axe world. And like Axe and Answered and Appalachian Man and Mountain Man Axes, there's guys that are breaking into this, and they're just getting to 1,000 subscribers, okay? So they're not even monetized yet. So maybe this will help these guys, because they're good guys, and they got good content, they're doing good things. So, and like me, I think they're doing it because they just they love what they do, and they just want to get it out there. But then again, if, other guys are going to try to make $1 off it, and I don't blame them if they do. So again, that's never been my goal. Now, even though it's not my goal, I can tell you that you get sucked into it. And when all of a sudden your video doesn't do well, you go, well, what the heck? Why bother with this? Every week rushing around trying to get and I only do one a week. Some guys do one a day, 2 a day. I don't know how they do it. But obviously, it makes sense, right? If you make $6 because you have one video that you get 400 people watching, well, if you do 2 videos, well, that's all of a sudden you've doubled your money. So it would make sense if you want to make money at YouTube to do more videos. So I do one a week because, in all honesty, that's about what I can get away with. and in the axe and handle world and the saw world, there's only so much stuff you can do. You got to keep coming up with new ideas all the time. Now, there is a place, and I will tell you this, there's a spot on YouTube where you can go for inspiration. So if you go to your channel, there's a spot that says inspiration. Go in there, and there are algorithms that they have to look at the people that are watching your channel and, what they want to see. it'll tell you, oh, here's some ideas for, future videos. So sometimes I use those, and sometimes they go well, sometimes they're a flop. But it's so hard not to get caught up in the, like I did this morning. Like, I'm doing this video because I was so disheartened. I said, holy cow, like I did that video, cool wildlife, animals in it and everything. And, but guess what? It tells me that my subscribers don't give a rat's rear end about a coyote or bobcat eating a coyote. So, so that's the thing, your subscribers want to see certain things in your content. So now I do think most of the people that watch East Coast Lumberjack, they like that I'm giving helpful advice on axes and other things. So now the old East Coast Lumberjack, there's a little bit more to them than just axes. So I'm retired, okay, and I got thinking, yes, I'm retired, and I run a small business, East Coast Lumberjack, and people could probably use a little bit of help with that. Okay, how do you run a small business? And and actually the benefits of it. Okay, there's a number of benefits for running my small business. I buy, when I go to the store and buy something like my Makita cordless tools, I can put them through the business because I'm using them for my business. But I can also use them in my house to repair whatever I'm doing. Like it's a tool that I have to use. But because I have a business, I can actually claim that against a business. So and I've tried to tell all my kids, you need, as soon as you can, like they're all getting, starting families and starting out in life. And I say, as soon as you can, you want to start a small business, because there's a lot of benefits to having a small business. You can write off meals, you can write off advertisement, you can write off expenses. And if you're using it for your business, perfectly legal. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. That's why it's there. And it's to encourage small businesses to get started up. So, could your business be a YouTube channel? Yeah, it could. Okay. And now, this year in East Coast Lumberjack, I got to claim YouTube income. So I added it all up for all last year. First time on YouTube, I made just over $1,000 last year. Now, I'm shocked. I never thought in my wildest dreams I would make money off of YouTube, but I did. It's not a lot, and I'm not in it to make a lot. I'm in it to get information out to other people. So will I still keep doing it? Yeah, I'm going to keep doing it because I like getting information out, okay? I like helping people that have helped me, and I've said that since the YouTube channel started. So hopefully this video today is YouTube really worth it. It takes a lot of work, okay? It takes a lot of work. And you need to be in it for the long haul, okay? And you need to figure out, why am I doing it, okay? Now, if you are doing it to make money, which a lot of people are, you're going to be a lot more serious than I am. And you may do a lot more videos every week. You may buy a lot fancier stuff. But if you run it as a business, my advice would be, charge it as a business. Make a new business, and then when you go to buy your iPhone, you can actually run that through your business. You can claim it. Okay, drop down your taxable income. So there's a lot of ways to work this thing so that you don't lose your shirt in the process. So that's my advice to people getting started. It takes a while. You got to get 1,000 subscribers. You need to be in something that's people want to hear about, okay? That people want to learn about, that people have some interest in. Now, what I don't know about, which would be good to hear in the comments, is what kind of people, because really what I think, the big unknown is, what's the YouTube world look like, okay? There's guys like me that go on, I need to figure out how to do something. I search it, I find it, and I do it, okay? That's my YouTube experience. Now, there's other people that actually, it's like TV, okay? You go in, you go through your channels. YouTube is one of the channels. And they, whatever, maybe like what we used to do when we were younger, Friday or whatever, it was Thursday nights, we'd watch Dallas or whatever it was. Little House on the Prairie, the Waltons, whatever. That ages me, I know. But So, and I think there's people that do that, okay, that say, okay, yeah, well, it's Friday night. Me and the missus have a big bowl of popcorn. What are we going to watch? Well, one of the channels we watch is East Coast Lumberjack. Although I can't see many ladies watching this. Probably say, I got better things to do with my time than watching an old gray 60-year-old man talk about axe handles. So, but if you're a YouTuber and you're watching this, put it in the comments. What do you do? Like, is there a certain time of the week that you watch YouTube? Do you just surf all the time? Are you like me and just go there for certain information? I'd love to know that. Okay, I'd love to know, how YouTubers actually think and work. So it's hard to find stuff on this. Like the other thing, the reason I'm doing this video is hard to find a video that'll tell you, listen, this is how you get started. This is how is it worthwhile hanging in there? And again, for my buddies that are, in the axe world that are a little bit behind me, yeah, guys, hang in there. Like, you'll get there. And I see, Axe and Answered, he's got almost 500 subscribers. Good stuff, man. And a lot faster than I did. And then Mountain Man and, a lot of these guys are, they're starting to get their 1,000 watchers, and then away they go. And again, saying away you go, well, you can at least start making a little bit of money back. Okay, because there is, you drive around, you do what you do to get your content, and, that stuff all comes with expenses. So, yeah, I'm not a big rich guy, okay? I'm on a government pension now, and that was cut short because of my wrongful dismissal in 2019. So I didn't get my full pension. So I haven't drawn my CPP yet in Canada, which is our Canada pension plan that I paid into for all my years, because I know if I wait another couple of years, it'll be a little bit higher. So I'm actually waiting to take that. So, and then with COVID, after COVID happened, holy cow, the prices and stuff went through the roof. And, my wife was a stay-at-home mom. So, she doesn't have a pension. So we live off of my pension and then my business. Okay. So in all honesty, what carries us is my axe handles and my chainsaw. That's what gives it, my pension covers our basic expenses, and it doesn't get us through. Okay. You get paid every month in a pension, and it won't get us through the month. So this, not that I'm relying on YouTube, but it's my East Coast Lumberjack. I love making handles. I love getting paid for what I do. And, if I can do some YouTube videos to get that information out, that's what I've done. So, I took my truck in to get undercoated here a month ago, and he told me, don't bother. It's all rusting out underneath. It's a secondhand. I bought it at an auction, okay? I bought it for $2,000, my old green truck. I don't have a lot to, you look at some of these guys. I mean, they've got neat trucks, they've got they got all kinds of gear. Like, it ain't me. It ain't me. And I'm not going to come on here and try to make like I'm something I'm not, because I'm not that. I'm just a regular guy that's, that actually learned a fair bit, and I can actually teach a fair bit. So I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to keep teaching people, and I'm going to keep explaining stuff and helping out. And I think I might take a little bit of a shift. I might do a few extra videos a week, but go down a different angle. Okay. I got a book that I wrote. It's called Ignoring the Evidence. It's basically about my career and my battle. I fought the whole deer glyphosate issue in this province for ages. And, I'm retired, and we're trying to make a go of it here. We actually have quite a little farm here that we grow all of our own food. I had to build a deer fence the whole way around this place this year to keep the flipping deer out from eating me out of house and home. So, but even building that fence, like a lot of people have been in saying, hey, geez, man, that's some fence. What'd it cost you? And it cost me a lot of elbow grease. I got it done for about $1,000, and I've got about an acre fenced here, deer fence, and it's electrical. But again, another thing so there's lots of stuff here that I can talk about. And I see the same thing when I started going through this morning and looking at who's all talking about axes and sharpening and stuff. There's people that have big channels, like trying to think of some of them. Wrangler Star, okay? There's a big guy. He's got like millions of subscribers. Wrangler Star. And he does a lot of different things. Like he's all about homesteading and stuff. And a lot of people are interested in that. You know, but of course, as part of homesteading, you got to sharpen a tool. So all of a sudden, he does a video on that, you know, and he's got 2 billion people watch it in a week. I do one on sharpening and I get, you know, 200 people watch it a month. So, you know, and there's a lot of people that'll dab into your, and I thought, well, man, why don't I do the same thing? Like rather than staying so specific, because again, sooner or later, there's only so many videos you can do about putting an axe handle in an axe. And now what you can do, you can keep redoing those over and over again, because people, a lot of times people, and I'd like to know this, when you go on a guy's channel, do you go down through and search all of his videos to see if, because I've got some videos on here about how to do this and how to do that, and I did them like 4 years ago. And I don't think people will go back through your archives to find those. So a lot of times, you know, I'll get people say, hey, how do you do this? And I'm going, well, man, I got a video on that. Yeah, but they can't find it. So what I usually do is go back through my archives and find that video, and then I post the link to it so that they can actually find it. So maybe you know, just keep doing stuff you've already done so that people can see it again. And because I think what it is, and again, I don't understand how all this YouTube world works. So anyways, this video is about, you know, how to, you know, is it worthwhile? Is YouTube worth all the headache or not? I'd say it depends. If you're in it for the money, you might get pretty discouraged pretty quick. I'll tell you that. If you just want to get, and I think that's why it's so good that I went at it the way I did. I just wanted to get information out, you know, and if you make $1, well, good enough. But it's still easy to get drug into that, because this morning, I was a pretty sad looking puppy this morning. When that video with the cat and the dog on it, I thought, man, people will love that. Say, woo, when do you ever get to take a video of a flipping live bobcat? No, it didn't matter. So, and maybe this video is as much for me as it is for anybody to say, you know, am I gonna stick at it, or am I gonna bail, or what am I gonna do here? But no, I think there's other things, and I'm thinking I'll do a video on other stuff, like how I'm gonna fix this old truck, or how I'm gonna, you know, weld the frame, see if I can get a few more years out of it, how to put the deer fence in, all this other stuff that I'm doing all the time, that it may be helpful. So I might do a video on that, and then go back to the shop and do a video on axes, and go back and forth. I don't know. But you can't. Now, the other thing I will say, like anything in television, people want to come on to become famous. Okay, let's get down this road just for a bit. Okay, because let's be honest, I've met some of you people, and that's why you want to do this. Okay, and when they meet me, they're like, "Oh, Rod! Oh my goodness, Rod, come!" I'm just a guy who makes axe handles. That's all I am. So you need to be content with who you are long before you start YouTube. If you're doing this to get famous or to make a name for yourself, you're in it for the wrong reason. Okay, I want to be straight up with you. You need to be confident in who you are, because, you know, God doesn't make junk. Okay, and you're you for a reason. Okay, and you're unique. But you don't need YouTube, and you shouldn't look to YouTube to make you something. Okay, or to be somebody. And I think if you can live comfortably within your own skin right now, then you're in a good place to do YouTube. Okay, but if you're, because it'll create an animal in you, okay? And you'll watch those stats, and you'll watch how's this happening? How's that going? Am I making money? You can't take your worth from numbers in an analysis of your YouTube videos, okay? That ain't where it's at. When I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, is it worth my time? Okay, that's all I'm looking at is, you know, I need to make so much money a month. And, you know, I do what I do with the YouTube stuff. And, you know, do I put more effort into it? Well, I don't know. I could probably make a few more axe handles and make a whole lot more money. And again, it's not about the money, but I do have to pay some bills. Okay. And I do have to buy, now I gotta, if I can't fix this truck this spring and weld the frame, I gotta buy a new truck. Now on a pension, you know, limited pension, you know, how are you gonna buy a truck? Okay. Anyways, that's my challenge for this year. And I'll probably do some videos on it because I don't know where I'm going to find a truck, okay, for a decent price that's not going to put me in the poorhouse. So that's what I would say, okay? And it's good to see some people in the YouTube world that have done well, and they're not getting caught up in it, okay? They're still the same person, and that's what matters, okay? And we all know that from watching Hollywood, okay? The people that are rich and famous, but are down to earth and talk to you and shake your hand and not pompous, and, you know, those are the people you like, okay? Because they're likable people. They know who they are, and they can do it with or without Hollywood, okay? That's where you need to be when you get into this racket, okay? Don't all of a sudden, once you get rich and famous at YouTube, you know, all of a sudden your farts don't smell. Well, everybody's farts smell, okay? Hate to break it to you, but everybody's farts smell. Anyways, hopefully that's been a little bit helpful to you. That's a lot of history about how I get to be where I'm at here. And again, I'm nothing to brag about. I'm just doing what I do, and I am where I am. And, you know, where it goes, who knows? But I'm going to keep doing it because I like helping people. And I think that's the biggest reason to get on here. So that's the look of the world from the old East Coast Lumberjack. Hope it helps you out.